Hey everybody, welcome to road.cc. Now, what with the virus and the lockdown, there's not been a lot of professional road racing going on, but a lot of the pros have turned to Zwift, and you know, the other day we saw Team Ineos racing up Alpe du Zwift, making a really good job of it, and it's really good to see those guys giving it a good crack, and it does make you think, I wonder what it's like to be that good at climbing a hill, because I'm not. And then I thought, I have got something in my shed that might be able to help me with that, so let's go and see what that is. What I have here is Canyon's new Endurace on AL, their first e-road bike. It uses Fazoo's Ovation motor in the bottom bracket, with 250 watts of extra power. And I reckon with a little bit of jiggery pokery and a bit of insulating tape and a magnet, I can make it work on my direct drive trainer. So, I'll take it inside, hook it up, then climb up the Alp and see if I can beat Rowan Dennis and Chris Froome and all those other lads. Wish me luck. Okay, well, we're rolling down in the jungle circuit now. We just turned onto the jungle circuit and we're about to hang a right at the bottom, head up the Alp. So it's about 12 kilometres. Normally it would take me about an hour. I've never cracked an hour, I've done it in an hour too. But now I've got 250 watts of extra power sitting in my bottom bracket. Is that going to turn me into Chris Froome up here? I guess we're going to find out. One thing to note is that the battery in this bike doesn't really have the capacity to make it all the way to the top in the full maximum resistance mode, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful on the way up. I've got my Garmin on my bars here. That's going to show me the power from my pedals, so what I'm actually putting out, and I'm going to aim to do it more or less at FTP, so it's about 300 watts for me. It'll probably be a little bit under. I'm not quite feeling it today. So that's it, I'm through the gate. I'm going down to the green marker at the bottom of the climb. Stick my bike on. So I'm going to put it on green to begin with, that's the lowest resistance. And straight away I can see that where my Garmin says 125, 133, up on screen I've got 260. So it's more or less doubling what I'm putting out, which is a nice feeling. I've got the difficulty on the trainer set to 100%, so it's got plenty to work against when I'm working up the hill. And, you know, we'll see how far we get and how long it takes. But here comes the start of the climb. This is it. Time to knuckle down and get on with it. We're just approaching turn 10, which is a little bit under halfway. I'd like to point out, this isn't easy. We're going as hard up it as I can, as I normally would, so near FTP, which for me is about 3.1, 3.2 watts per kilo. What I'm seeing on the screen is mostly over 5. What it does tell me is that even with this bike, and going as hard as I can go, I'm still not at the level of a World Tour professional. You know, the best times I've outdo it an average of about 6.5 watts per kilo. I'm nowhere near that. I couldn't sustain that, even with the power. But I'll crack on, and I'll see what my time is at the top. Okay, just approaching turn 3. Not far to go now, under 2k, but I'm down to 1 bar of battery, and it's really noticeable that the power has dropped off from the bike. So I'm still above where I'd normally be. I'm up at about 4.5 watts per kilo, but it's not as much assistance as it was, and I'm not sure it's going to get me all the way to the top. I might have to do the last bit under my own steam. We'll see. But I can smell the finish now. We're nearly there. Well, that was hard. But I think we can all agree that I look very nice in my Alpe du Zwift King of the Mountains jersey that I've definitely not earned. And now it's time to roll down the hill, cool down, and we'll unpick this a bit, see what we've found.
So what did we learn in the challenge that I've named Dave plus Canyon Endurace on versus Team Ineos on Alpe du Zwift? Well, let's have a look and see what we've got. My overall stats are, I did the climb in 39 minutes and 57 seconds, so it's under 40 minutes. That on the day was good enough for the KOM jersey, so I was the fastest rider at that point. But overall, my position on the Strava segment, about 1200th overall, so not really pulling up any trees, even with my e-bike. I mean, it has to be said that there's a lot of times on Strava for that segment that you think are probably fanciful. I mean, the KOM's about 28 minutes and Rowan Dennis did it in 34:15, I think, about that. So that's somebody taking 6 minutes out of the world time trial champion. Seems unlikely, but there we go, we'll gloss over that. My average watts, including the bike, so taking the power from the Neo 2, was 465 watts, which is an awful lot for me. Normally, I'd be able to hold that for about a minute and a half, maybe. The average watts for the rider only, so just me, measured from the Garmin pedals, 273 watts, a little bit down on what I would have liked, actually. So, here's my power graph, and you can see at the start I didn't have the motor on, so the section at the start where I'm rolling towards the start, the two lines track each other very closely. Then as soon as we get to the climb, I'm adding power from the bike. We've got it on the green mode at the start here on this very start bit, so it's not adding much. Then not very far into the climb, I decided that's not going to be enough for me, so I moved up to the second level of assistance, which is blue. There's 3, and that kicked in a lot of power. So you can see at the start of the climb, my power from the Neo 2 on the purple line here is a lot of the time above 500 watts, whereas my power from the pedals is about 280, 290 on average. Let's have a look at a different graph where I've smoothed it out just a little bit more. So this is more easy to see the trends on. So here we go. There's a lot of difference between the power from the bike and my power. As you can see near the end, that gap starts to close. And what's happened there is the battery's starting to run low. I was on 1 bar of battery by the time I got to the top. And the bike is scaling back on the amount of assistance it's giving. My power also goes down from about halfway when I realised that I wasn't going to beat Chris Froome, and I got a little bit disillusioned with the whole thing. it goes down, and then at the end, the last 5 minutes, where I'm thinking, you know, I might be able to beat 40 minutes here, I decided to put a bit of a shift in, and it goes back up again. So overall, I was fairly happy with my climb. I mean, I probably could have done it a bit harder, but I was going pretty hard. And under 40 minutes was good, and getting the KOM was really good as well. So, you know, happy days. What did we learn? Well, I mean, obviously the first thing we learned is that I'm no Chris Froome, and I'm no Rowan Dennis, and I'm no Ben Zwift. You know, the top Ineos riders were doing it in 34 to 36 minutes. That's probably climbing at somewhere above 6 watts per kilo. And when I look at the stats that I was putting out, my average for the climb was about 5. And when the motor was at full assistance, so when the battery wasn't low, it was about 5.5. But even then, you know, even then I wasn't matching them. I did beat some of them though. I did beat the guys that came in at the back of the pack. People like Ben Zwift, who did it in 43 minutes. I took a couple of minutes out of him, so you know, there's that. And one thing you do learn is that it's fun being the fast guy on the climb. I mean, there's a lot of talk about people who cheat and people who weight dope on Zwift and why they do it. And actually, you know, at the end of the day, you're only cheating yourself, but it is fun being the guy that's burning past everyone. And of course, you don't need a 2,800 pound e-road bike to do that. You can just go into your settings and halve your weight, and suddenly you'll be a superstar. So that's another way of doing this. And like Greg LeMond says, it never gets any easier, you just go faster. So you can see at the end of that video, when I was like aiming for the top, I was pretty much spent. Even with my motor, I was going as hard as I could. And that's the lesson from this, you know. You just need to try really, really hard all the time. And maybe you'll get better. Maybe I'll get better, who knows. So there we go. That's our learnings from this experiment. If you've got any questions about the bike or the setup or anything about Zwift, ask them in the comments below and we'll get them answered for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this on road.cc. Cheers.